Hello, my name is Merkoulov and I'm making a video today on holistic Christianity in life that is conditioned by spirits. Wow. Okay, so for some reason my algorithm on YouTube has been really focusing on all this content of Christians that are reflecting on, for example, New Age spiritualism. And I have my understanding of that from my point of view, and I'm gonna share it in order to help those who understand the concept of Christianity and how it may serve you as a human in this life more holistic and less black and white. Okay, so this is the image of Jesus on the cross, and for those who may be not familiar with it, the horizontal line represents matter and it represents the earthly plane, it represents the earth. The vertical line is spirit, is the divine, and the middle of the cross is the place where these two meet. Now, a very long time ago, this cross would not be like a cross, but it would be like a plus. So this line would be equal to this line. And I don't know exactly why that changed. Someone probably knows. But they made a cross out of it, like with a longer vertical line that's going deep underneath the surface of the material world. It goes deep. So, why do I make this video? Understand your life, your body, so you may identify the devil, as they call it, around you, see spirits, and live in the sacred number 7 and not just the number 3. Number 3, sacred number of Trinity in Christianity, of the Father, the Holy Spirit, and the Son. Now, I was drinking my cup of coffee, it's finished, this morning, and I am highly conscious of subtle energies, and I felt the spirit of coffee as I invited it into my body by just drinking it, because spirits are present in our material world and we are constantly interacting with it. Now, on all these videos that I see on YouTube, I see that a lot of people within that community are becoming aware of how bad things, and in their words, the devil, manifests itself in our material world. So there are all these, for example, songs that are actually about terrible things, or monster energy, for example, is a terrible, terrible thing, which manifests itself in the material world. And they say the devil is the ruler over the material world. But where I see that these content creators are cutting short is that they are focusing only on the things that are obviously satanical, and the rest of it in their eyes is just passive. But there's nothing passive in our world as we know it today, because we are conditioned by spirits. Says of this video. Life that is conditioned by spirits, because our material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. So this image of Christ on the cross, and it is important to in order to be holistic, to understand how the human body actually works. So the human body has 7 energy systems. We have the corona, which is the sacred, let's go to here, the corona, the sacred crown. We have the third eye, which is in between your 2 eyes, and a lot of, this Asian knowledge is now mainly represented by yogi philosophy and Taoism, right, which is in Christian from the perspective point of view of Christianity, is something that's pagan, that's bad. But within the Bible, there is the same things described, but then in a different way. I only know, I studied only the Eastern philosophy of how the human body works. So I will be referring to it and explaining to it with the 7 chakra systems. So we have the corona, we have the third eye, the throat chakra, which is the power of creation and manifestation. There was the word, as they say. The heart chakra, the solar plexus. Then you have your belly, which I cannot recall the name of, but apologies for my ignorance. I hope you believe the rest of the things that I will explain to you. And the root chakra, which is your sexual basic needs. So this is the center of your energy system. It's in your belly. I think it's the sacral, but I'm not 100% sure. So that is how the human body works, and this is the mind and this is the matter, right? Mind over matter. This is number 1, 2, 3, mind. 4 is the heart. 5, 6, 7. Actually, in the chakra system describes it differently. This is the first one, and this is the 7th one. But in order to combine it and make it sense with the concept of the Holy Trinity, I put them like this. And this is how it used to be, right? This is how the original image of the human fitting in the cross is. And we see here that the heart chakra is exactly on the line of the material world. So here we see the material world on top of the horizontal line, and everything that's above the material world is your third eye, is your divine connection with spirit and with God, is your ability to create with the power of the voice and singing. That's everything above the material world. Then on the middle line of the material world and life is the heart. The heart should be in this place in every human in society in order to live optimally. And everything that's below is here the physical body. So those are the last 3 chakra systems. It's your solar plexus, about communication, it's and relation. It's your belly, which is about basic needs and about your energy regulation. And it's your root chakra, which is about foundational needs and reproduction and sexual energy, which are all things that in the Bible, of course, are described as traits of the devil, or the world of the devil, right? It's the place where you are able to sin, because the heart chakra, it is on the line of your arms, and that is the place where everything that's below is the place where you can start to touch, to act, to do things. You can hurt someone physically, you can hurt them in the heart, you can hurt them in your relation, the solar plexus. You can not take care of your body good, and ruin your metabolism in your belly. You can have poor or bad or abusive sexual relationships, etc. It's everything that is underneath the arms, which represent action. And here is where we can reflect and decide what to do. It's the place where we are divine. Now, this image is a very, very nice representation of actually the same concept. Here we have the top of the iceberg, and on top of our world and the life, which is the surface of the water, there is the divine God, Spirit, the Holy Spirit, and it's the world of spirit. Now below is the spirit world, and it's also described as the kingdom of the devil. We will understand slowly. The fact that it's the kingdom of the devil doesn't mean that we shouldn't be present in that world. because we are mainly conditioned to be in that world. So what is in the spirit world? It is spirits, it is our physicality, it is the matter, and there are demons, but it's also just things in the material world like food, coffee, it's your schools, your everything that you interact with in this life. It's things from incense to crystals, which are also now in all this content that I get fed by my algorithm, described by many devout Christians as something that is demonic and a gateway towards demons and bad energies, etc., which is therefore refusing the New Age spiritual movement, which is what it is, whatever you want. But here we're just observing, and I'm trying to illustrate some infographics. Now, what is slowly happening in our world, because we are not holistic, we're not most spiritual people and Christians, even though they don't know they're actually Christians, or Christians don't know that they're also something else. They are mainly living in this spiritual realm, in the spirit world, in a relationship to the divine and God, which is great. Consciousness is rising, but as we are lacking consciousness of these energy systems and how we are influenced in the material world, we become more heavy. Literally, we might become just more fat, resulting in this. We are slowly sinking down on the cross. What does that result into? Where we first were still here with our mind, with our third eye, our divine intuition, and our throat chakra ability to create, we are now underneath the material world. So it's matter over mind. So the material world is ruling your mind. It's ruling your thoughts, your needs, your intuition, you're numbed down, and how does that actually manifest? Well, it's very simple. With food, with poor programming, with lack of education on how to treat the human body, which is something that is inherently integrated in all these Eastern philosophies, which like yoga, etc., which are now kind of refused to a high degree in the Christian kind of beliefs, because it's pagan. But why it is very valuable is because it gives you the ability to be responsible, to be able to respond. Because I have, for example, someone that I know that is a devout Christian, and they are acting in every good intention within their mind and consciousness from those values, but they are actually abusing, or their body is abused by the devil. And how come? Well, they're drinking a lot of Monster Energy, and Monster Energy is such a poor thing for your metabolism and your energy system, especially your metabolism, because of the ingredients in it that kind of kill your metabolism, which results in a weak body. And as we are sinking, it becomes matter over mind, and this is everything that is ruled by matter. And then our mind is also ruled by matter, because imagine it isn't doing anymore what you would like it to do, as it would always, but in the last maybe 100 or maybe 200 years, less than 200 years for sure, our food chain has become so poor completely destroyed. We have poor nutrition, the soils are just dying, animals are abused with antibiotics and all that crazy stuff, loads of sugar, the white devil as they call it. And our physical energy systems that are dependent on the material world are getting weaker and weaker, and as our body becomes weaker and weaker, we're basically slowly dying. We're letting our these energy systems below this die, but we're still very high in this frequency. So what happens then? Well, this is the part that goes up there afterwards, and everything that is below here, it also goes down into the world. It's recycled, etc. And this is the part that is actually rising. So what happens? Well, you basically just die in the eyes of the world, or actually in the physical world. Now, the antichrist. Let's get to that. Antichrist, matter over mind. So we're sinking down, and once this part of our head is down, which happens a lot to people that don't believe in God, or don't believe or have no consciousness of some sort of spiritual world or great spirit of or any concept of that. Love. They sink down, and as they are below this world, it's very easy for the Antichrist to turn around the cross. And what happens then is the material world is still like this, is still up straight, but the cross is upside down, so we are hanging upside down. So all of our spiritual consciousness is now below the material world, and everything that is ruled by the material world is now above the material world, meaning matter over mind. So we start to act from our basic needs, and our divine intuition is suppressed. Now, what are some symptoms of that? We start to act from physical needs. We get addictions, we get anxiety, we get stress, finance over everything, like love or relationship or family. We have no time because we're in this rat race of we have to do a lot of stuff within this physical world. No connection to something or the greater whole, because this is the thing that is now up, and the love and the grace of God is still here, as the Christians call it. And we are now very much detached, and the physical world is in between us and God. So it's again this iceberg, and the majority of the iceberg is now above the surface, and it is conditioned by the media and everyday life, because that is what is above the surface. And God and Spirit and the divine are underneath the surface. And what is the result of the material physical world is we get all these new age spiritual communities that are basically as accurately interpreted by Christians, a lot of Christians, it is an antichrist movement, because they start to kind of accept that the spiritual world and the thing that actually gives you true soul connection and peace in life and gratefulness on a daily basis, they put it well, they're just practicing that within the little bubble that they are put by the Antichrist, because it is a very small bubble, these movements, and they are bastardized by a lot of regular media or the material world and everything that is ruled by the material world, or the devil as they call it. So they are put underneath the surface, they cannot practice their spirituality just out in the normal world. They have to have their own rooms, their own places, their own. It is not something that is common anymore. Everything that is on top of this material world is that which is common, that which is normal, that which is spoken of in good terms and in harmony by society, because this is what society is. And back in the day, there would still be sacred places and churches, for example. I'm not saying that all the Christian churches are good, because there's also a history of that, but there are also different kind of sacred places where people would be connected with God and the Holy Spirit. So that is the thing that was on the mind and in constant active creation of the word. It was the thing that people spoke about in everyday life. Now, we are kind of almost living in the antichrist world where everyone is constantly only acting and speaking and connecting over these physical needs. What do we do when we go out with to connect with someone? We have this objective always to have physical needs. So we go to a party. What do? We drink alcohol. We go have some date with someone. What do? We drink coffee. Those are all things of the spirit world, of the kingdom of the devil, as they say it, not meaning that it is bad. We need to learn how to live in conscious and good relationship with that world. Now, the whole reason why I made this video is because in the Holy Scriptures, pardon me for doing this, but in the Holy Scriptures, it is described how to live, or at least how to not live. But they don't really talk about how to actually live. Why? Because life was at the time conditioned. You could live a perfectly normal life in kind of neutral and good health. Now the world is so ruled by everything that is basically bad for the human body, and also now even interfering with the human mind and spirituality, because we have been sinking down and it is matter over mind. So a lot of people believe anymore that humans have a soul. They don't even believe anymore that there's something greater than them, because it's the matter over everything. We believe in science. We believe everything has to be proven and confirmed by science, which is the religion of the material. Basically, it's the newest religion of the planet, but it is basically the religion of what Christians call Satanism. It's the satanical religion because it is the religion of the physical plane, of the physical world. Now that is how you can kind of understand how Satanism as described in the Bible and used by Christians, and this is also something that Christians can now start to maybe realize, is that it is actually science. So if you are a Christian and you believe wholly in science, then you have to understand that you're also believing in something that is not sacred. And also, whenever you are drinking coffee, you are inviting a spirit into your body. Every food on this planet has a spirit. You can feel it. It affects your body. It affects all of your hormonal systems. It affects the way that you feel. It affects the way that you digest something. It affects your hormonal needs, which is connected to your root chakra, etc., etc. The only thing that's independent from the world of the devil is your throat, your ability to speak, your ability to see with your divine eye, and your ability to have a divine connection with which is above. Now, a lot of voices of ours are also already sank down underneath the material world. So we speak and confirm devil things, like we curse, or we speak about a lot of negative things. We speak way too much in general in daily life, because we have to process all those things, and we are ruled by that, and our heart is already way down low. It's not integrated in our society at all anymore. We are all acting from the mind right now in our society and not from the heart anymore. So it is important to understand that the material world is a line that we are either above or below, and we have to understand also all of the influences, external influences from this energy systems, this part of our body, because this is the thing that is influenced by everything that's above, that's in the sky, that's above the material plane, and this is everything that is conditioned by all the things that are below the material plane. It's the soil, it's the food, it's the animals, it's the etc. It's our houses, it's our city. Okay, so I'm gonna say one last thing, and that is our body is conditioned, the physical flesh is conditioned by those things of the devil, and we are now not living anymore in a world that is by default already kind of easy to live healthy in. The devil has already conquered a lot of land in that regard, the metaphorical devil, as you may want to refer to it. The Holy Scriptures in the Bible do not explain literally anything about how the devil is controlling us actually, but we have to become conscious of how it is manifesting itself in daily life, and how to live in an empowered, conscious manner in this material world, and take responsibility over that. And we do that by educating ourselves, because responsibility means ability to respond. So therefore we should educate ourselves on all our energy systems, and not only the sacred power of the spirit and the mind, and the power of the word, but also heal our hearts in the material world and reintegrate it, and learn how to move healthy, how to eat healthy, how to sleep healthy, and then live a great life. Just that's all that it's about. Healthy body, healthy mind. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to share, my thoughts on that. Kind of translated my vision of what I understand about what is happening in our world, and how the devil, as the Christians call it, is manifesting itself in this life and in this world, and how sadly a lot of people that are very developed within their spiritual consciousness are lacking the physical consciousness and awareness, and those who are very much within the physical and also scientific world, they're missing the spiritual consciousness. So how to bring those to create this optimal image of the human that is on the cross, of the bridging and connecting in this middle point the material with the spiritual world, so we may live in a harmonized existence from the connection of our heart, which is the bridge between these three divine energy systems of the human body and these three. It's interesting. Number 4 is also the number of the material world. It makes a lot of sense that the heart chakra, as they call it, should be in the material world, in the physical plane. And why is number 4 the number of the material world? Because it's a square, it's a system. Everything in our world is kind of made out of the number 4. So for example, we have tables, we have chairs, we have our paper that we write off as 4 corners. I mean, it could have been a triangle, right? It could have been a circle, But most our buildings are square, and in the anthroposophical philosophy, they also say that the devil hides in the 90-degree square. It's in the corner. So that is where the physical world. So all the anthroposophical buildings think they kind of look like this, with doors like this. Funny, huh? Yep. Funny. All right. All the love, all the essence. Ciao.